Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I am back yet again with another video. I feel like I haven't been on here in a while, which it's only been Friday, but welcome everybody back to another episode. So I'm actually just going to get right into the video. It might be a quick video depending on who all comes in the room. But if this is you guys' first time watching me, welcome. My name is Joy. This channel is called Live Narc Free. And this channel is all about inspiring and motivating you guys to live your best life. So let's get right into the topic, you guys. Today, I do want to talk about the dynamics of a narcissistic family. Also could be a narcissistic cult. But dealing with narcissistic siblings is definitely different. Thank goodness I did not have narcissistic siblings, but I definitely have been in contact of someone that has had narcissistic siblings and or family members. So yeah, I just kind of like want to touch on that just a little bit. And I do have some articles that I did want to pull up for you guys just for references. But basically dealing with narcissistic siblings, whether that's, your brother, your sister, or it could be like a brother-in-law or like a sister-in-law, and how they affect your relationship is different for sure. A lot of them do try to take control over the relationship. They probably try to make it seem as if, they're more important than you, which you could be the spouse or the girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And Delicate Lace, hey, hearts. And you guys, please feel free to chime in on this topic if any of you guys have had narcissistic siblings or narcissistic brother-in-law, sister-in-law. How has that affected you? How have you been coping with that? Any feedback? I would love to hear that. And anybody else watching, I'm sure would appreciate that as well. But yeah, they definitely will affect your relationship. They definitely will affect your self-esteem. And also, the relationship that you have with your partner. Unless, your partner is really interested in, maybe healing themselves or fixing themselves or having better relationships that are, healthier, then you will have success as far as, go on no contact with any narcissistic siblings or in-laws too. But if not, and you may find yourself kind of like on your own dealing with this, it's a lot to handle by yourself. You know what I mean? So you have to really kind of take the focus off of the narcissistic siblings because they will be trying to trigger you. They will be trying to compete with you, make you feel less than, maybe even make you question yourself, make it feel like you're not good enough, or make it seem like you have to prove yourself to them or, be a certain way to please them. But just know that you don't have to do that. You don't have to be somebody that you're not just to please a narc sibling or a narc brother and sister-in-law. So 1 second, you guys. I had to really stock up on my water. So yeah, these are back. But Delicate Lace, she said, I haven't talked to my one and only sister in 20 years. I don't see us ever connecting ever. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's how it can be. And, unfortunately, depending on your level of, recovery and healing after dealing with narcissistic family members, you may not ever talk to them ever again. Or some of us, it may be like low contact or no contact. And honestly, if that works for you, that's awesome, because you don't want toxicity around you. And unfortunately, sometimes it is our family. It's like some of the closest people that we know and love, and unfortunately they're toxic, unfortunately they're unhealthy, and they may not have our best interest at heart. They may not have good intentions, and they may not want to see you do well. You know what I mean? And so you really just have to protect yourself and protect your energy. You know what I mean? And it's really sad, right? It's really, really sad thing. But you have to do what's best for you, right? And even if that means getting into therapy, getting into counseling, or getting a coach, excuse me, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically that. And I did want to just kind of touch on the different roles as far as like in the family dynamic structure when it comes to dealing with a narcissist. So Delicate, you said, I'm not sorry. She's still talking about the past. I don't dwell there anymore. I actually changed my life. Yeah, I definitely get that. I hear you, Delicate Lace. Like sometimes you're just kind of like, you know what, forget that. I'm moving on. You don't have any regrets about the past, right? And you're just like, yeah, I'm over it. So I get that, Delicate. And that I'm happy that you changed your life. I'm really, really happy to hear that. And you said humans believe her. Yeah, narcissistic siblings are interesting. I do want to just read this article though on I did find it on Google. I just wanted to kind of give you guys some insight on it. But yeah, it's really, really difficult to deal with narcissistic family members. Narcissistic, and just even think like it's your family, because like I know some of us, and like myself, even when I was dealing with my aunt, I felt as if like I owed my aunt a lot, right, for taking me in at the time when I was young, like 17, coming from Delaware, you know, and I felt bad for going no contact, but I just feel like you have to do what's right for you, you know? So yeah, so like with the siblings, yeah, how to set boundaries with the narcissistic siblings. Okay, so like if any of you guys are dealing with a narcissistic sibling and you're just like, man, like I love them, but like I need to do what's right for me, you know? So what you want to do, and I did find this on Google, so if any of you guys want to read this at a later time, please feel free to do so, the psychologytoday.com. So stop explaining yourself. Seriously, just stop immediately. Like, don't explain yourself to a narcissistic sibling, right? Stop making yourself vulnerable again. Please stop. Stop looking for an attunement. Stop expecting them to change, and stop making excuses, right, for narcissistic siblings, because they're not going to change. They're set in their ways, just like with the romantic partner. Like, they're not going to do anything different, right? You know, and so it's really sad. It's really, really sad. Let me see, what else do I want to read to you guys on this about the siblings? Yeah, they're always like competing with you, you know. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so in regards to, again, siblings, so avoid direct confrontation because those with NPD are extremely sensitive to criticism. Calling a true narcissist a narcissist typically backfires and worsens the situation. Don't accept harmful behaviors. Focus on choices, set limits, and get support and professional counseling. So, but yeah, you guys. And then the other thing is, you know, so if you're just like, what is a narcissistic sister, or what's a narcissistic brother? Or again, this could be a brother-in-law or a sister-in-law, right? So just to kind of give you guys some signs. Again, I got this on Google. Sibling dynamics, behaviors, and narcissistic families. So he or she believes that they are more important than you. He or she has to be the center of attention. He or she feels entitled to everything. He or she doesn't recognize your feelings. He or she is a pathological liar. He or she is extremely jealous of you, and he or she changes how she behaves around different people. And that could be, you know, a narc in general, but we're talking about siblings here. So, and I know I haven't really touched on narc siblings like at all on my channel. And I do believe I was asking about like topics, and I know somebody mentioned this. So I was like, let me touch on it real quick. So 1 second, guys. But overall, I hope that you guys are having a good Sunday. And I know it's like super random. Sorry, I'm going off topic, but I'm making like the best veggie. Well, not the best. I can't say that because nobody's here to taste it yet. But I'm making like a really good homemade vegetable soup. And I also made a homemade bread just because the weather is actually like really cold where I'm at. And I was like, let me just do something that's good, healthy, but that'll be comforting for me. So I can't wait to taste it. It's simmering right now. But anyway, So you guys, I just had to put that out there. But yeah, so in regards to the dynamics for like the different roles that you may play in a narcissistic family structure. And I can tell you this, you guys, I remember going from being I remember going from being the golden child to being the scapegoat, right? And it's really sad, especially like if you're the only child and let's say you have narcissistic parents, like you will really, really, really go through it. But like, let's say you have multiple siblings, it's like a little bit more drama because like each child has a different role that they play, so like you have the scapegoat, so like the person that gets blamed for everything, like if something bad happens in the family, the scapegoat is like, the family puts it on the scapegoat. They're like, oh, if it wasn't for you, that wouldn't have happened. And then like you have the golden child, which is the golden child is like gets everything, gets all the praise, the attention, the admiration, and that golden child can do no wrong, and then you have the invisible child where it's like nobody sees that child. It's like they're there, but like they're not to be spoken or they can't speak. Like you see them, but it's like you don't, if that makes sense. Like it's almost like, how like when you're a kid, they say like, oh, if someone's coming over, they're like, oh, don't say nothing, be quiet. So it's like you're there, but you're invisible, right? And then like the hero slash caregiver. So like this is like the child that saves the day. This child is like the hero, comes in and saves the day for everyone and takes care of everybody. But I do want to read though, like another article for you guys, just to kind of give you guys some more insight. I hope that this is helpful for those of you that do have narc siblings. I definitely get it, and it is difficult. But unfortunately, you really do have to do what's best for you. It's really sad, but it is what it is, And I don't know if you guys watched my other video where I talked about what it feels like to be the black sheep. Maybe you could feel like the black sheep, but that's perfectly fine because, that's how God wanted it to be. So you kind of just have to accept it, that's the way that God made you. And, maybe you were dealt a narcissistic family, or maybe you were dealt narcissistic in-laws and you're just like, why me? Depending on how your partner reacts, I would say, see if it's possible to make it work, as you may have like in-laws. But if your partner is not on your side, I would say it's not worth your time because you can't deal with a narcissistic family cult and, a partner that's like unawoken of it. That's like too much pressure for you, for yourself. Like you can't do that. I wouldn't recommend that. But let me pull this up here. Yeah, so I want to talk about the family roles real quick here. Because as I said, I know I went from being the golden child to the scapegoat. It was not a pretty sight. Not at all. Not at all. All right. Yeah, here we go. This is narcissistic family roles. Let me pull this up. Okay, so, and chime in, you guys, if y'all are in the room. Where are you guys from? Into official, hey. You said same, situationally fluid. Okay, into, yes. How do you guys deal with, does anybody in this room have narcissistic siblings or narc in-laws? And if so, how are you guys coping with that? How are you handling that? Would love to hear. Would love to hear. All right, where did this go? I mean, I basically just kind of said it, but I wanted to just give you guys a little bit more in depth on it. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. All right, let me just put, I get that, let's see. Let me pull up the hero caretaker. Because I feel like maybe a lot of us, may be put as the caretaker and we may not even know it. Like, let's say we have a narcissistic mom or dad and we have like siblings and maybe we could find us, maybe we have been made to be the parent of the family, right? Like we are taking on that role, which is what a lot of narcissistic parents do that. So all right. Okay. So this is giving me, hold on, narcissistic family roles. All right, 1 second, you guys. I just want to find this for you. I think it'll be helpful. Okay, so until you said whatever works for the present narrative, they'll add the perfectly perceived characterization to optimize the best results for themselves. Yes. Yes, indeed. I get that for sure. Yup. So, but yeah, and the roles of a narcissistic family, everybody has to be on the same page. Like no one can deviate from it. And if you do, just know that you will be punished. And it's so crazy. In a narcissistic family cult, there's a matriarch, there's a patriarch, and you have to follow those rules. And if you don't, you will be shunned. You will become the black sheep. You will become, they will have contempt for you, and it's hurtful, right? It's hurtful. And you may not even understand what's going on. And some of us, we may not want to like deal with it because it's so hurtful, because we don't want to think that our parents didn't have our best interest or our siblings didn't have our best interests, but sometimes I think for me, like what was the start of my healing process was accepting the fact that I had a narcissistic caretaker and that I had a narcissistic guy that I dealt with, And sometimes that's hard to admit, but I think that is steps towards, recovery, All right, 1 second, you guys. I almost found this. Okay, so yes, they are fluid, correct. And until you said New York, okay, New York in the house. All right. And yes, distance is the best. Where is everybody else from? I'm from Delaware myself, but I've been around in the States, but I'm currently in Illinois. So anybody else in Illinois? Is it freezing out there right now? Into official? Okay, yeah, caretaker. Yup. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, Illinois is like not as cold as it usually is, but yeah, it's cold. Hold on. So where is this? I just want to pull this up. I think it was really good. Okay, how do narcissists? Okay, so this is how the narcissist treats their siblings. So your sibling may go to great lengths to assert their superiority over you and damage your sense of self to forfeit their own. They may even verbal abuse, belittle, ridicule, and humiliate in both public and private. And this can actually not just happen with the siblings, like your own, like flesh and blood, but this can actually be like a brother-in-law, a sister-in-law, even a mother-in-law can actually do this, or father-in-law can do this. It's actually pretty scary. But once you have been made aware of what's going on, then you can, again, distance yourself and remove yourself. Or if you feel like you have to be in it, because maybe you may have like kids or other things that are tying to you, to this person, or whether it's property, assets, or whatever, then you just want to ignore them and not take it personal. Try not to make it about you. Like, understand that these people have a problem, but eventually you don't want to stay there. Like, you want to be able to just distance yourself and just keep low contact, if that makes sense. And yes, I actually want to do a video on that into official parentification, because narcissistic mothers and fathers will actually make their children into parents. Because what happened is the narcissistic parent did not get their needs met when they were a child. So what they do is they have children and they make those children extension of themselves. And so what they do is they try to get that child to basically meet their unmet needs that they didn't get met when they were a kid. So in a sense, they enmesh their children with them. So they have like an incestual enmeshed relationship with their child. So it's like they, in a sense, are relying on their child as if that's like their boyfriend or their girlfriend, like their second spouse. Right. And some of the children may be aware, some of them may not be aware. Some of the children are like comfortable, like they're literally like an adult, but they are like a parent to their parent. Right. It's crazy. And so you said supplementing their income, daycare service, and avid helper, no credit or anything to show from it, or would be labeled selfish and self-centered. Oh, wow. It's crazy. And so you said it's cold, but I still want snow. Okay. I would think it'd be snowing in New York. Like, what? Man, that is interesting. And then this is the last thing. I just wanted to read this to you guys. How to protect yourself from narcissistic family members. Oh, wait, I think I already provided that. Did I? I just want to make sure for those of you that are watching, but I think you guys get the gist of it, You guys get it for the most part, I would say. Yeah, okay. So in regards to breaking free from a narcissistic family, you want to recognize your health and well-being comes first, right? And again, this is on healthline.com if you guys want to read this later. Learn to detach and create boundaries, as we've been saying, and try not to be confrontational, but do set clear boundaries. Like, you don't want to make a big scene, and you don't want to tell your family members like, hey, I'm not talking to you guys anymore. Like, so don't reach out. Like, you just want to slowly but surely like create the distance, like maybe not answer your phone or say like, hey, I'm only going to call you if you call me, type of thing. If they may ask for little small favors, just say, hey, no. You know what I mean? Or if they're like adamant on it, like, why? Just say like, no, I'm busy. Or, just like really, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to set your boundaries and be okay with it, because you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, So always remember that. All right. And then last thing before I let y'all go. Okay, hold on. Let me just get this before family. I'm gonna put scapegoat, because I know I had it on here before. Scapegoat. I think it was hero, invisible, and then the golden. Yeah. Okay. It should come up. And then you guys, you have the dynamic when the scapegoat leaves. And this is why a lot of times the dynamics, the golden child doesn't want the scapegoat to leave, right? Because that golden child actually would become the scapegoat. So nobody in that narcissistic family cult, they don't want nothing to be different. Right? They don't want nothing to change, because that's going to flip the dynamics of that relationship, right? Of that family. So just be mindful, you guys. And it's not to like scare anybody, like, oh, it's a cult, but like, that's the real thing, so just be mindful. Just be mindful. Okay, so yeah, there's a lost child I'm seeing. So it says, and again, you can go on allyoucanbooks.com, right? So the scapegoat is usually victim of emotional and physical abuse by the narcissistic parent. The lost child is usually known as the quiet one or the dreamer. The lost child is the invisible child. They try to escape the family situation by making themselves very small and quiet. That's actually really, really sad. It's actually really, really sad. So if any of you guys are actually going through that, definitely don't be afraid to reach out for help, professional help, support, and understand that, your family, and I'm not here to say my family is perfect at all, because that's not the case, but I can tell you this, that I don't believe for the most part that my family are narcs. I know that my aunt was a narcissist on my dad's side, but my intermediate family wasn't narcissist, thank God. But yeah, it's difficult, but that's all I wanted to talk about today, you guys. Understand you can overcome, narcissistic families and toxicity, but it just takes one day at a time, and just recognition and acceptance, and not just the acceptance, but being able to like take action and being able to say like, okay, I want something different. Like, I don't want to continue this type of dysfunction in my type. Like, when I'm ready to have a family, like, I don't want to have a dynamic like that. Like, I don't want to be treating one child differently from the other, because you guys know that narcissistic parents, they treat their children differently. And not just that, but they actually treat, not all, but they'll have the golden child, right? But they'll treat their immediate family, like their partners, they'll treat them really bad, but then they'll go out in the public and they'll treat like people that they don't even know, they'll treat them like gold. And you're just like, wait, what? Like, so it's crazy. And then into official, you said, I was told this week by my mother, I don't benefit her. What? I know, and I see where the generational curses play out. Well, that's good, into that you're acknowledging that and you're kind of seeing it for what it is. But I'm sorry that your mom said that, because that's not cool at all. Like, you don't say that to your child. Like, why? But yeah, I'm sorry about that, into official. Shift in dynamics, they would become the scapegoat if you leave. Yes. So in that cult, they want to keep everybody's role the same. And even like in a, like let's say the mom is the matriarch, and let's say maybe you're dating an adult child of a narcissist. So like, you come into the family and the mom is used to using that child as an emotional punching bag, or, as a confidant, or like a second boyfriend. They don't like that at all, because you're taking something away from that narcissistic mother, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Again, just take it one day at a time, do your research, educate yourself, study codependency, study confidence, study self-esteem, study trauma bonding, study CPTSD, PTSD. It's all going to really help you work through all of those triggers and traumas, and each day, write, even if you have to journal it out, everything that you felt, or things that was said to you, or even how you feel about yourself, just write it out, and it's gonna get better, but it takes time. But it takes you, the individual, to break those curses, because if you're watching this, you're not meant to repeat those curses. You're not. Trust me, because I know that I'm not. All right, so I love y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. Leave me some topics, you guys, on other things that you want me to talk about in my next video. But I think I got a few here from Into. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, y'all take care. Be safe, stay warm, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.